نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Whenever we do any action, it is of utmost importance that this action has many characteristics, but two are very, very important, primary. One is what? Sincerity. What is it? Sincerity. That you do this action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody else. Not for show, not for name, not for fame. You don't acquire knowledge for to get a job or to get a degree, or you don't acquire knowledge so you can argue and debate and do those YouTube refutations of each other. You acquire knowledge for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to preserve knowledge, to pass on knowledge, to teach, to do amal yourself. This is why you acquire knowledge. And the second thing is your acquisition of knowledge, or whatever you do. So it's a knowledge, for example, and other amal as well. Fasting, salah, zakah, hajj, ibadat. It must be what? With sincerity. And the second thing is very important. It must be done in the correct way. It's not done in the correct way. What will happen? It will not be accepted. For example, you perform salah, but you don't do wudu. So you're performing lots of ibadah, but it's not the way that Allah wants it. You perform 2 ruku and 1 sajda. That's not the way of the Prophet ﷺ. That's not the way. It won't be counted. You perform udhiyah, but in Rajab or in Sha'ban or in Ramadan, you say, you know what? If I do udhiyah, kurbani, in Ramadan, I get double reward because udhiyah, but I do it in Ramadan. I do my udhiyah in Ramadan. That's not the way Allah wants it. Your aqeedah is not correct. You have the people in monasteries and the popes. They do so much. They leave the dunya. They don't get married. They leave the whole dunya. But it's the iman, the aqeedah is not correct. So Allah will not reward them. You understand? Many people do a lot of they strive. They have these mujahadat that they do. They strive. They do a lot of stuff. But because if it's not done the right way, what will happen? Down the drain. In the end of Surah Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Hal unabbi'ukum bil akhsarina a'mala." Should I not tell you of those people who are the worst, who have the worst deeds? الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. The worst people are those who are striving in the dunya. They think they are doing good, but what happens? Reality is what? ضل سعيهم. All of the efforts have no acceptance. That's double worse. That's worse, very bad. Why? Let's say a person does evil his whole life. He knows nothing is waiting for him except evil. But if you have the wrong aqaid, wrong beliefs, your amal is not on the right, you don't have enough knowledge, you do the amal the wrong way. You fasted asr salah instead of maghrib. You didn't have the right knowledge. You didn't have sincerity. Your actions are not accepted. Then what happened? It's all down the drain. So as an example, I thought about this today because it's the night before, there's a question came up in tafsir. A very good question came up. So I was confused. I spent a lot of time. I was preparing the question, preparing the PowerPoint. I found the answer. I spent a lot of time prepared the PowerPoint, and then delivered the class. I thought this is very useful, not only for me, but if I do it as a video, what will happen? Other people can watch it as well. The students can watch it again later on. Somebody else might find it beneficial. So we put it up, set it up, put the video. But what happened? The record button wasn't pressed. So we had everything set up in place. It looked like recording. There's a tripod, there's a camera, there's mics, but there was no sincerity in the camera, or there was not the way of the sunnah of the phone. So was it recorded? It's not recorded. We spent how much? 35 minutes recording, or 20 minutes recording, or we spent some time before that preparing. So what happens when we come back? What happens then? When the camera is phone, when the camera died, and the filming session died, we look at our amal in the gallery. There's a video there. Video wasn't there. We said, oh no, inna lillah. It's gone. Now that 20 minutes or 15 minutes, it was not useless because I taught the students, I myself benefited. But you think, I could have got, if I had re-recorded, it was a really, really useful lesson. People would have benefited from it, inshallah, possibly. I could refer back to it again when I forget later on. But it's gone down the drain. Let's take a step further. So half an hour of 20 minutes of recording went down the drain. Felt so bad. What happened? Imagine if our whole Dropbox, somebody hacked our Dropbox, and years of our effort. Or let's say for example, we were doing Dropbox, all my work, or all of Maulana's work. We're doing it, and what happens? Something happens in synchronizing. And 1 week, the whole week, I back up every week. 1 week of backup goes down the drain. So 1 week of work, only 1 week. 1 week of work goes down the drain. It's not synchronized. And all the Dropboxes, we had an error. And 1 week before, so all the files got erased. We had to go back to 1 week previous backup. How much would that hurt us? Now 1 week of my mutala, 1 week of my typing and my work and my copying and my researching and getting all this set up, all my PowerPoints, 1 week is gone. Can you imagine how? Imagine completely. The whole Dropbox got, somebody hacked Dropbox. And our backups got destroyed. Our backups that we make so many copies of them, they got all destroyed. What will happen? So imagine on the day of Qiyamah. Imagine on the day of Qiyamah. We spent 50 years, 60 years, how much Allah life gives. We were fasting, but we had riyah. We weren't doing it for people. We weren't doing it for Allah's sake. Why were you doing it? People say you're Abi, oh mashallah, you fast so much. We perform salah. We had all our salah in our Dropbox. We had all our salah on our angels were recording it. We thought the angels were recording it. But what happened? The angels never pressed record because it wasn't sincere. Or the battery went dead. Something went wrong in the recording. Why? Because we weren't sincere. We never done it correctly. How would it be then? How sad will we be then? And we can't even change it. So I don't even have the courage to go back and do that 20-minute recording again. It's gone now. I don't have the energy to do that again. So imagine the whole life go, and then in the hereafter you can't even change it. What comes in say for wafahu isaba? Yasabahu dhama'anu ma'a. Allah says, you know what, the a'mal of certain people, if your aqeedah is not correct, your intentions are not correct, your a'mal are like a mirage. You know when you're driving on a very hot day, you see we don't have hot days in England, but when you're very hot, if you go in Saudi Arabia, go Barbados, and you see you see like a water reflection on the ground. It's not really water. Allah says, the a'mal are like what? A mirage. Yasabahu dhama'anu ma'a. When you're really thirsty, you think, yeah, water's right there, water's right there. When he gets to it, he realizes that everything you had done, Allah said, I gave you everything in the dunya, nothing left for you in the hereafter, no amal, no reward, nothing. It's very, very scary. Is that scary? Imagine your GCSE, your certificates got torn up, and that you need that for a job. You got no proof that you done GCSEs. You got no proof you done your A levels. You done a PhD. You done your whole master's research, and the computer crashed. People actually get depressed. You would get depressed when you done your whole 2 years of work. It's completely gone. So imagine your whole life of a'mal, your salah, your zakah, your hajj, because you don't have the correct knowledge. You were doing something you weren't doing correct, because you never knew what was the right way of doing it, or you knew the right way of doing it, but you never had sincerity. You had arrogance in your ibadah. You were doing it for show. So you're doing all these YouTube videos. You're not doing it for people. You're doing it so you get famous. You get lots of likes and clicks. Allah knows that. Allah knows your intention. You're performing salah, you're imam, and you read nice qira'ah because my people say, mashallah, man, Allah reads qira'ah. You raise the voice a bit, you cry a bit as well. Why? Because people will cry. People say, you make dua. It's funny watching me or not. All of these things, what happens? Your intention is not correct. So if that one video causes you so much hurt, if 1 week of our Dropbox not synchronizing will make us so sad and so like despondent and so like, so frustrated. Imagine if years of a'mal go by. Imagine if a whole life of a'mal go by. And I said, none of your tahajjud is accepted. None of your qira'ah is accepted because you're doing all this qira'ah. So people say, you are, mashallah, you are sahibul Quran. You're doing it for name and fame. Imagine the anger and the anger you would feel at yourself at that time. That my whole life is wasted. You understand? That's very, very important. You have knowledge. So that what you do is correct. And along with that, you constantly look at yourself. You constantly analyze yourself. Am I doing this for Allah's sake? And if you always saying, even if you always say, look, I am doing this for Allah. Not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for fame. I'm not doing it for popularity. I'm not doing this so people look up to me. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep on redoing that over and over again. Because if one lost video can make you so little frustration, if a lost week of work on Dropbox could cause so much frustration, just visualize this. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah said your whole hard drive is erased. Because why? Allah said the day of Qiyamah, some ulama will come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said you sought knowledge, not from me. You sought knowledge, why? So people call you're an alim. So you can debate with people, you can argue with people, you can show your supremacy or your superiority. A person will have passed away in Allah's cause. Allah will say, no, you've done it for people, you've done it so that people will say that you're shaheed and you are this and that. You don't want this. Your whole hard drive is erased, your whole phone is lost, all your data on the phone is wiped. So we have to be very, very careful. Look at our a'mal and make sure we're doing a'mal, we have sincerity in our a'mal, and we're doing the a'mal the right way. So you're not having a data wipe on the day of Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give tawfiq to attack from this. Allah save us from this. Subhanallah, bihamdik, subhanallah, wa bihamdika. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.